something like that. Yeah, but okay. Okay, please cut it out. Yeah.
Did your econs improve after taking econs tuition here?
My econs grades definitely improved. After J1, I was in dire need of some sort of help, and I had seen a lot of online ads for ETG, and I was like, you know what, might as well just try it. And I tried it, and I loved it, and it boosted my grade quite a lot.
I started to get like consecutive U's, and I was just like, oh shit. After like 3 or 4 U's, I was like, that's it. Like, my econs really cannot make it. That's why after my friend's recommendation, I came to ETG.
Having lessons here really helped me to kind of organize my way of learning, and also Mr. Toh's way of kind of dividing our lessons into very bite-sized concepts really helped us to know how we can start pacing ourselves.
Not just cushion my grades and like improve my grades, but it honestly led me to love economics. It led me to understand it better, which made me truly enjoy each essay I was writing. I know this sounds very corny, but I enjoyed writing each essay once I got the hang of it, and once I knew what I was writing and I saw the real world application of it. So I definitely love that.
I think it's quite remarkable for me. Like, you know, normally I see other people getting U to A, but like, thanks to Mr. Toh, I could be like one of those people. Yeah.
Can you share your experience with ETG's flexible learning?
ETG's flexible learning was really important for me as a student, because we have to balance a lot of CCs and commitments. So it was great for me because I could choose between which lessons I wanted to attend for the week. I could choose between the different locations, or whether I wanted to have it through Zoom.
As a JC student, your schedule is almost ever changing. You have a different timetable every day, every week almost. So I really liked that I was able to choose when I could go to class every week. It really helped me with scheduling, and other tuition centers don't really provide that flexibility, so I really liked that. Yeah.
Like, I could plan out my week ahead, and it allows me to kind of just be able to not miss out on any lessons. And also, if I do unfortunately not be able to make it for any of the lessons, I can just go onto the portal and see any other content that I could learn from there.
I could access the portal and the Zoom classes, even for that matter, from anywhere. I could be sitting in my school. If I was stuck, not able to get home in time, I could take the lesson from school. I could be sitting at home and take it from home. I loved that. I loved how organized the portal was. I could choose which course I wanted to learn, if I needed to do a warm-up on any topic, if I needed to clarify a doubt, sitting anywhere, I could just open the topic and read through the notes provided, and it was just very clear. Yeah.
Something that is not available in every tuition center. It's very unique to ETG because I don't particularly stay near the branches available for the lessons. So Mr. Toh actually offered to do, Mr. Toh is offering online lessons, and he actually have like studio quality mics and really high resolution cameras. And even online lessons, he will try to involve us. So he will not only let the on-site students answer the questions that he have, he will also try to interact with the online students, and he will constantly look at the Zoom panels. He will make sure that we are all listening, and we have our webcams on and we are looking at him, interacting with him. So I think that's very unique to ETG only, because from what I hear from my friends, especially during the circuit breaker period when the other tuition centers are organizing online lessons, what they are missing out is really the interaction between the students and the teachers. So the teachers will often just go on talking without making sure that the students understand the content. But Mr. Toh would definitely, he will often just check back with us whether we understand, even though we are not on site with him. Yeah.
What's your favorite hard copy resource?
My favorite hard copy resource is the mini, like the mini book. Oh yes, that one, the Micro and Macro Express. Yeah. So
Favorites?
so
Okay. These are my favorite. Okay, Okay, yeah. These two books were my favorite resources from ETG. And I think closer to A levels, I kind of just relied on these for, okay, not just relied on these, but I relied on these heavily. It gave me a lot of practice. And what I needed at that point of time was just more, I just needed to be exposed to more questions, and that's what these two books gave me. And there's one book for micro, one book for macro, so that really helped. I think I was just able to understand the question and the question breakdown much better, because that's how the book addresses each essay question. So I definitely loved these two resources the most.
I remember having a lot of those table diagrams, all that, to kind of organize our ideas and concepts for when we first got to learn the basic concepts, like I think from micro especially. I remember Mr. Toh was helping us to kind of divide and conquer based on the evidence from different articles, like news articles, and he was able to help us to infer and explain based on those evidence.
They actually give this to us at like the start, like when you just join, and like inside, it's very like compressed, but like everything you kind of sort of like need to know is inside lah. So like whenever I want to like practice, like when I do tutorials or I do like my practice papers, like I always bring these two books along.
And I think it's like I think Mr. Toh also constantly updates these books every year, which I find that he puts in a lot of effort into these lah. That's why I feel that the content inside are also very well done, in the sense that I can really just revise my concepts in a very short amount of time.
Okay. How would you describe Mr. Toh as a leader?
At first, I actually found him a bit intimidating because he doesn't like smile a lot, or maybe it's just the mask. I don't know. Wait, he's not gonna see this, right? Yeah.
I would describe him as a very lively tutor, very engaging tutor. His lessons were never dull, always engaging. I always left the lesson feeling like I've learned something, feeling much better, a little bit more confident in my economics grasp.
I would definitely say he's a workaholic lah. He really likes to work, and I think his passion for teaching really shows, especially from how he often updates his resources. Definitely no one can spend that amount of hours into something he's not interested in or not passionate about.
You can tell like how much like effort and like that Mr. Toh is putting in lah, because especially like during A levels, like we were all like super tired and drained from like studying every day. But I think like one person that was more tired than us was like Mr. Toh for some reason. Like you can tell that like, you know, Mr. Toh already had like a full day of lesson, but he was still putting in the extra time just so that like we have the extra help we need before A levels.
And Mr. Toh is just very understanding to the students as well, especially during the circuit breaker period. He did mention that some students may be facing financial difficulties, so he's willing to offer extra supplementary lessons or crash course boosters, all for free.
During A levels, like his eye bags were damn bad. Like you can tell that he was really losing sleep trying to like help us with our A's. So I think yeah, like the most important trait that Mr. Toh has is like he's very hardworking and he's very dedicated.
Okay, so did you feel that the last few lessons at ETG had predictive value in terms of what came out for the A levels?
I think Mr. Toh's predictions were scarily accurate. He had almost hit the notch for every single thing that he predicted. It was there in some sort of way. He told us what type of question might be there, or what kind of concept has not been tested and might likely be tested, and that's what actually happened. So I felt like when I went into the exam, I was better prepared, and when I saw the topic that, you know, most other people didn't think would come, I wasn't as surprised or startled, and I knew how to handle it.
We were able to like focus a bit more on like questions that was predicted to come out, and because of that, like and Mr. Toh's predictions are like quite accurate.
The last few lessons when Mr. Toh was predicting the essay questions, it was actually really able to help me shape my understanding of how I could study when I was nearing the A-level examinations. So it made me save a lot of time, because I think a very large majority of the questions were predicted, and it helped me to kind of strategize and plan ahead for my learning, because there were other subjects to kind of balance as well.
for the economics essence workshop, which was just before A-levels, that one really solidified my content, and actually quite a number of questions that Mr. Toh went through during this workshop came out for the actual A-levels. So that was a really interesting experience for me, in the sense that I opened the A-level examination booklet and I was like, wow, like Mr. Toh predicted so many of the questions, and the economics essence workshop prepped me for all the contents that I need to answer all the questions, which turned out really well. Yeah.
It's true that like Mr. Toh actually, because of all the effort he's putting into predicting, right, he's actually pretty accurate in predicting, and I think it will help a lot of like you, like in a way, because if you're like struggling, or if you want to like focus on like, because econs is a very big like subject, right, like it would really help for you to like focus on like what is more likely to come up. Yeah.
The case study had like a BOP section and nobody thought they'd text that. And it happened and we were all like, but I wasn't like, I was like, okay, I know what to do. Yeah.
Would you recommend classes at ETG to your juniors?
Yeah, I would recommend lessons at ETG to my juniors, especially if you've just finished like exams and you found that econs was really hard to kind of understand and master. It's great to actually just kind of come down here and really get your basic understanding right, so that you can really move on to get the economic rigor and write your essays with like efficiently and quickly, because that is how it gets easier from there.
Definitely, and I've been recommending the lessons to not just my juniors and my peers as well back when I was in J1 and J2. So Mr. Toh always like provided us with extra resources that we can share with our friends. So a lot of my friends actually feedback that Mr. Toh's resources are really good, which is why I always recommend this tuition to them, and how it really benefited me, how ETG really made learning econs a very enjoyable process and very simple for me. Yeah.
I definitely recommend classes here. It's helped me so much with my economics journey, and I can definitely see it helping anyone for that matter who has any doubts or struggling with anything in economics, because the resources here are just so diverse and Mr. Toh knows what each student needs. I like that a lot, so I definitely recommend ETG. Yeah.
I think for econs, like I would really recommend you to come here, especially since Mr. Toh is one of the tutors that really puts in a lot of effort into his students and his classes, and yeah.
Do you have any final message you'd like to say, Mr. Toh?
Okay. Mr. Toh, thank you so much for your lessons. Thank you so much for all your help. Thank you for teaching me how to love economics and not just how to do economics. It's really helped me in terms of my economics journey. I've become much more secure in my understanding of the concepts, and I've been able to apply them. And I want to thank you so much for giving me all of that. And because of that, now I want to pursue economics in my undergraduate degree and studies. So I want to thank you for giving me that boost that I needed, for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Toh, for really providing us with such a great understanding for economics, and really sharing your love for economics to us and making us feel your passion as well. That really gave us a lot of support this time through when A-levels was getting very difficult, because I was able to feel your passion. I was able to like kind of study harder as well, and that made me feel that econs was better than I imagined.
Thank you for putting so much effort to our cohort and my batch, because our one was when we were in J1, we actually met with the circuit breaker, so that was actually much harder for him, because maybe he didn't get to see a lot of our faces, so he technically wouldn't be able to get to know us very well, but yet he still treated us like students that he knew for many years or for a prolonged period of time. So he really made me feel like I actually belonged here, even though I was an online student for most of the time. I think he really helped me out a lot, and I would really like to say thank you for just being there for me, in a sense. Having someone that I can actually seek advice from, having someone that I can ask any questions to, like outside of H2 econs, and having someone that I can speak all my worries to.
I was gonna say this last year, but I just wanted to thank Mr. Toh for like helping me throughout my A-level journey, because if like I didn't have this extra help, I think I'll still be in my state of getting used for for econs. So yeah, I'm very grateful for like Mr. Toh, and I hope he knows that like all his students know how much hard work he's putting into our lessons and our materials and everything. And we would just all like to thank him lah. Like we are all very grateful for like his dedication and his help. Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, we're done.